Hello, everybody. Welcome to my 2024-2025 NBA season predictions. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the East and the West and predict the every single team in the East and the West seeding from first to sixth, then the plan, and then the bottom five, and also give a hot take for um, for said teams. And then at the end of the East and the West, I'm going to go through my play-in bracket just to see who gets the last two playoff spots. And then um, I'm going to go through my awards. So that would be for the players, not coach of the year or anything like that, because I don't really know many coaches in any league, honestly. Um, but So those awards would be MVP, sixth man, and clutch player, clutch player of the year, defensive player of the year. Yeah, those awards. So let's start out on the East, shall we? Coming in at the one seed, it's pretty obvious, right? It's got to be the Celtics. I mean, they're the team to beat right now in the NBA. They have a starting five that is very cohesive. They have great players on offense and great players on defense. Guys that can do the dirty work, and they have a lot of depth on the bench. And that's a key thing that you need, depth. And that's what they have, and that's why they won that championship this past summer. So it's pretty obvious. I don't really have to name the Celtics key players. You all know them. At least I think you all know them. If you don't, you don't know ball. But yeah, Boston's the team to beat. They're at one for sure. Coming in at two, I got the Knicks. Um, they're a really good team, man. They are, in my opinion, the closest threat to the Celtics, and I think they thought the same way as well. You know, going after Cat, making that trade with him, sending Julius Randle and DiVincenzo to Minnesota, and getting Cat. Um, I think this team has the most depth in the East besides the Boston Celtics. And I honestly think they can really push the Celtics this year, you know, if they get to face each other in a deep playoff series. Oh my god, there's a fucking centipede going up my fucking. Holy shit, that scared the hell out of me. There's a centipede going up the wall behind you guys. Holy fuck. That thing scared the shit out of me. I don't know why there's so many centipedes that just pop out whenever I'm up late at night. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think the Knicks have the most depth behind the Celtics in the East, and they're the biggest threats to the Celtics in the East. So yeah, I got the Knicks at two. Um, I was really looking forward to seeing McHale, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, all four of them together. But unfortunately, the Cat trade really just ended that. So, yeah. Coming in third, and there's three teams that I'm thinking about putting them in third, but this team stands out a little bit more than the other two teams. I got the Pacers coming in third and a new Central Division champion for the first time since 2017. The 2017-2018 season. But yeah, I got the Indiana Pacers coming in third. They had a great playoff run this past summer. You know, beating us in 6 games. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we took 2, and then beating the Knicks in 7 before ultimately falling to Boston in 4 games. But I think this team's a very young team. They're led by Halliburton. They have Turner and Siakam as the experienced guys. And then they just have a lot of good young players. They have a really lot of good young players. And I think this team could also be an underratedly low-key threat. I think they'll if they played the Celtics again the playoffs, they definitely be better. I think they'd win a game for sure if the team that the Pacers have now compared to then played the Celtics, they definitely win a game. Definitely, in my opinion. But yeah, they have the Pacers. They're gonna be a team. They're gonna be a squad this year and for many years to come. Don't sleep on the Pacers this year. And this is coming from a Bucks fan saying that. I think the Pacers are gonna be the third best team in the East. Coming in at number 4, we're gonna have another Atlantic Division team here, but we're gonna go with the Cavs, Cleveland. Um, Cleveland, they kept Donovan Mitchell. They locked him down. They locked down Evan Mobley. They got them for the future. Garland's on a big deal. Jared Allen. They got their main guys on big deals. They got them locked down for the future. And Cleveland, they're also a really young team, just like the Pacers. And I honestly think that they would have had a better playoff run if Donovan Mitchell wasn't really injury prone for the last half of the season, or the last month and a half of the season. He really was injured at the end of the season a lot. It was unfortunate to see. Mitchell's one of my favorite players, and it's unfortunate to see him go down. Darius Garland had a bit of an off year last year, but Evan Mobley was really their best player that wasn't injured. When they were facing the Celtics and they lost to them after the Magic took them to the brink. But yeah, Cleveland's a very young team, just like the Pacers. I think they're also going to be better this year. But the Pacers, Knicks, and Celtics, they're just the top echelon right now. I have Cleveland being right close to Indiana for the Atlantic Division title, but I just think the Celtics and Knicks are the class of the East right now. So yeah, I got the Cavs slotting in at 4 behind the Pacers, Knicks, and Celtics. Coming in at number 5, I have for the second year in a row the Southwest Division champion, the Orlando Magic. The Magic last season, they made their first playoff run. They pushed the Cavs to 7. It was a really intense series, Came down to the wire in Game 7. Cleveland pulled it out in the fourth quarter. And what's really going to be the big thing this year for the Magic is their offense. If their offense is better, they could definitely be higher than the 5 seed. We all know they have the defense. The defense that they showed last year was fucking awesome. It was insane. They were locking people up. It was a really good defense. But the offense, it just wasn't there. And that's why the Magic didn't win a lot of games. Or they could have won more games if they had the offense. Like the Pacers. The Pacers had a crazy offense, but they had a really bad defense. But if the Magic had a good offense and the defense that they showed last year, they could have been like what the Celtics were. Not as good as the Celtics, because the Magic, they have Paolo, who is their best player for sure, who's also young. It was just his second year. He's not like a superstar yet, like Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and that's the same thing with Franz. They're a really underratedly good duo. But if the Magic can get the offense going, they're going to be scary this year. They're going to be even more scarier than they were last year. And yeah, I got the Magic slotting in at 5. Now, the 6th spot. Ooh, the 6th spot. There's 3 teams that I want to put in the 6th spot. the Bucks, the Sixers, and the Heat. Um, and as you can tell, I have a Giannis jersey on. I am a Bucks fan, but I don't know. After last year and what we got going on, we got some younger players on the team, even though we are the oldest team in the league, and that's what scares me. But it's tough. Honestly, I think I'm gonna put the Heat sixth. Yeah, I'm gonna put the Heat sixth. You know, everyone knows that. Oh, wait, they don't try during the regular season. They don't try, but I think the Heat, they have a better team than years past. Scary Terry, I think, is going to be better this year than he was in his Heat stint last year after getting traded from the Hornets over to the Heat after he was going off for Charlotte. I think Jaime Jaquez will step up and have a really big role. Duncan Robinson, I think, will be good. Tyler Hero will be back and better than ever. Jimmy Buckets and Bam. They got all the guys. I think this Heat team could be underratedly good. You all know about the Heat culture, how great it is for that team. And I think the Heat culture will get a top 6 spot this year in the NBA playoffs. So before we go into the 4 play-in teams, we're going to go through every single team's hot take that I have. And my first hot take for Boston will be they'll have 4 players average over 20 points per game. Jason Tatum, that's obviously a lock unless he gets hurt. Jaylen Brown's going to be a lock. Kristaps Porzingis, I think, will do it. And honestly, Derek White, I think, will do it. I think those 4 will power the Celtics starting lineup, and it's going to be, I think they're going to be even better than what they were last year. So, yeah, I think the Celtics will have 20 points per game scores this season. Next, for the Knicks. And I don't think this is going to happen the whole season. I think it's just going to happen. He's going to have a rough month or 2. But I think Cat struggles in the beginning, even though he's played under Thibodeau before. But yeah, I think Mitchell Robinson will start over Cat for a month or 2 this season. I think it's just going to be because Cat is going to be learning and getting used to his new team. You know, we have under a month before the season starts, probably like 17 days till the season starts. He got traded about 25 days before the season starts, so he had like 24 days to get used to being with his new teammates on the Knicks, but yeah, I still think he's going to struggle at first. I think he'll be really good by the end of the regular season and postseason, but in the beginning, I think he's going to struggle. And yeah. Third, for the Pacers, my hot take for them is that man, I'm struggling to find hot takes for people. Huh. Oh, Aaron Nesmith will he's going to establish himself as a defensive threat because that guy is a defensive menace. And I think he'll have more points per game than Miles Turner. Aaron Nesmith, he showed flashes last year. Like he was really good for the Pacers the whole season long, and I think he really looked like a star player in the future for Indiana. And I know the defense is there. I think he's going to start scoring the ball a lot this year in that Pacers potent offense. I think he's going to be the Pacers' third leading scorer behind Hallie and Pascal, and he'll be ahead of Miles Turner. For the Cavs, I think Isaac Okoro will start more games than Max Strus this year. I don't know. I feel like Max Strus is gonna have a sophomore slump with the Cavs, and Okoro got that big contract. I think he's gonna start to show that he show potential and more reasons why the Cavs picked him 6th overall in 2020. I think he's going to start showing that he is the real deal for them this year. Next, we got the Magic, and I think Paolo and Franz, Franz makes his first All-Star team, Paolo makes his second. Paolo made his first last year after having a really great year for the Magic, and Franz had a really underratedly good season too. I think they're both going to elevate their game even more, and I think Franz is going to get the respect that he deserves, and he's going to make an All-Star team this year. So, good for them. And then last but not least, the Bucks. We are the oldest team in the league. We have a lot of players that are over 30, which is concerning, very concerning. And I think we're going to be the 6th seed. I think most of our players get hurt for one or more times during the regular season. And that's because we are heavy on veteran talent. Does that concern me? Yes. Do I think we have a championship contending team this year? No. No, I do not. I don't think we have that right now. I do think if Rondo comes into the fold, we will be better than the 6th seed for sure. Hopefully Dame can be better, more offensive production, I guess, and defensive. Don't be like just a guy that disappears on defense and just gives up so many goddamn points. But yeah, that's my hot takes. Oh, I put the Heat at 6, not us. Well, you get a preload of the Bucks because they're 7. My hot take for the Heat is the backcourt duo of the backcourt duo of Scary Terry and Tyler Hero are going to cause problems for the rest of the Eastern Conference. And they're both really good players. Hero is a really good scorer. Scary Terry does a lot of cool stuff. They're both really good players, and I think they're going to really fit each other well in their second year together. I think they're going to be better together and for their first full season. And, yeah, I think that they're going to be better. So now we go into the Easter plan part of the video, and 7, I got the Bucks. Like I said, we are team full of veterans. That scares me. I think a lot of our players are going to get hurt because it's inevitable because a lot of them are over 30. I mean, it's good and bad to have that sort of type team because then you have a lot of leadership, veteran leadership to the young guys because we have a multitude of young guys now. But it's also bad because those young guys aren't getting playing time, and as soon as the old veteran guys who are getting playing time go down with an injury, then the young guys are thrown into the fire, and that's not a good way to play your team out. So, yeah, I got the Bucks being 7th. Then in 8, I got the Sixers. I know it seems low. I'm probably going to get a comment saying, why are you sleeping on the Sixers? Why are you putting them so low? Here's why. Paul George obviously signed there. The 76ers have a lot of depth. Yes, they have a lot of good pieces. Here's the problem. Paul George is very injury prone. Joel Embiid is very injury prone. I think the 76ers can make it work without those two. But, Embiid, he got hurt last year. And Maxey wasn't able to do it all by himself. They were really bad last year without Embiid. And as soon as Embiid came back, they were on the charge, but then they still ended up in the plan. Adding Paul George, who is more injury prone than Joel Embiid, I don't think will be a good fit for this team. And that's why I have the Sixers being 8. And that's my hot take. Paul George and Joel Embiid will get hurt multiple times during this year. And one time it'll be in the same game. And the Sixers are going to flounder for a while this season. And they're going to fall into the play-in, even though with the team that they have on paper, they probably shouldn't be in there. But it's what it is. So now the last two teams in the plan, and I'm going to be honest, I really wanted to put the Hornets in here, and I really wanted to put the Pistons in here. Yes, the Pistons. But I got the Raptors at 9 and the Hawks at 10. The Raptors, Scotty Barnes, IQ, RJ Barrett, they're going to lead this team to the promised land. Those are the 3 building blocks for this team. I think all 3 are that's going to be a big 3, and they're really going to show out this year. A hot take for Toronto is that I honestly think RJ Barrett's going to get... No, hang on. I don't want to do that. Scotty Barnes, All-NBA second team. There we go. No, it's not really that hot of a take. I think he was on the All-NBA team last year. I think he was on the third team. Could be wrong. But I think Scotty Barnes shows that big of a leap where he'll jump to the second team. No, he didn't make an All-NBA team, did he, last year? No, he didn't. So yeah, I got the Raptors at 9. I got Scotty Barnes making an All-NBA team. Got the Hawks at 10. They got Trae Young. They have Jalen Johnson, who broke out last year. They traded DeJounte Murray, which I think will help. They drafted Risa Sher at first overall. And I think this is going to be a learning year for the Hawks, but I think they're going to be still, decent enough to be top 10 in the whole league and still make the play-in. Do I think they're going to do anything in the play-in? No. But I do think Risa Sher is going to play like an all-star this year, although he won't get it. I think he'll he'll be rookie of the year, in my opinion. He'll be rookie of the year, and I think he'll end this year with like 17 points per game. You know, some blocks, maybe a block or two per game, and I don't think he'll be passing the ball a lot. That'll be Trey. But yeah, I think Zachary Reese-Share has a nice rookie season. And then the bottom five, we got the Hornets, we got the Pistons, we got the Wizards, the Bulls, and the Nets. And all these teams, besides the Hornets, like I could see the Hornets being decent this year, and the Pistons too. The Pistons got better, but the Nets, the Bulls, and the Wizards, I think, are going to be pretty awful this year. The Nets and Wizards again, the Bulls, yeah, again. But if I had to give an order for all five of these, I'd say Charlotte 11th, Detroit 12th, Washington 13th, Brooklyn 14th, and Chicago dead last. And my hot take for the Hornets this year is that LaMelo plays a full season. I think LaMelo will finally play a full season and not get hurt. And he and Brandon Miller are going to be really good together. For Detroit, I think them getting Tobias Harris, him returning to Detroit, and Tim Hardaway Jr., they're going to really help and grow Cade, Jalen Duren, and Jaden Ivey. But I think Jalen Duren, for the Pistons' hot take, I think Jalen Duren leads the league in rebounds per game with 13. He's going to average 13 rebounds a night. And it'll lead the league in rebounds. Because Jalen Duren is a menace on the boards, as a lot of people do know. So yeah, got Jalen Duren leading the league in rebounds. Brooklyn, they're going to be awful. They're going to be worse than what they were last year. You know, McHale's gone. He's now on the Knicks. Their really only star player is Cam Thomas, who, if he doesn't slump like he did last year, is going to be an all-star. Cam Thomas will be an all-star this season. And that's my opinion. He is that good of a guard. He is a really good scorer. Defense could be a little bit better, but Cam Thomas is the guy for Brooklyn. He is their best player. They should build around him. And yeah, even though the Nets are going to be bad, they're going to see that Cam Thomas is the guy for the future, and they need to build around him. Then last, I got the Bulls. I don't see them winning over 20 games this year. Maybe not even 15. I think they're going to be that bad. I think Josh Giddey, that trade is going to be a flop. I think Zach LaVine will get traded for a very low deal. They're not going to get what they want for Zach LaVine. I think he's going to be either traded for a second-round pick or released. The Bulls don't have much. They really do not have much. And I'm going to give you guys a positive hot take. Kobe White makes All-NBA second team. I really liked what I saw out of him last year. And I think he's going to be really special for the Bulls. And he's probably going to be their best guard since Derrick Rose. So, the Eastern Conference standings have been predicted. Now we go into the play-in standings. We got the Bucks taking on Philly and Toronto taking on the Hawks. Toronto will beat the Hawks, and we will beat Philly. So that'll leave Toronto and Philly to play for the A seed in Philadelphia, where I think Philadelphia will win. I just don't think Toronto is ready yet. Hawks are not ready yet. I just think the Bucks and 6 years experience will play into their factor and help them make it through the plan. So now we're done with the Eastern Conference. Let's go over to the Western Conference, where it is stacked in the Western Conference. I could see about five teams being at the 1 seed. But I'm going to put Dallas at 1. I'm going to put the Mavs at 1. They were the best team in the Western Conference. I think the best team in the league after the trade deadline. You know, PJ and Daniel Gafford were really good additions. Luka, Kyrie, Derek Lively was really good his rookie year. And they brought in Clay, who I think will be better. He's definitely a better shooter than Josh Green, who got traded to Charlotte because of that move, most likely. Yeah, I think the Mavs, they're going to build off what they did last year after they made the finals. And they're going to be the 1 seed. Coming in second, I'm going to put the Thunder. I think the Thunder are going to be the 2nd seed. Their defense is going to be lethal. Their offense is going to be pretty good. Shea is awesome. J-Dub is awesome. Chet is awesome. Caruso is going to be a nice pickup for them. They have really good depth. And it would not shock me if they're the 1 seed, but I honestly think the Mavs are going to do better. But yeah, I think the Thunder, their whole team is going to be a squad this year, and they're going to be. They were the youngest team in the league last year, and they got the 1 seed. Imagine how they're going to do this year. I could see a championship coming Oklahoma City's way soon. But I have them being the 2nd seed, and they're my championship favorites in the West. And that's probably a lot of people would say the same thing as what I just said. So got Mavs at 1, Thunder at 2, Denver Nuggets. They'll be 3. They got the 3-time MVP Jokic. Jamal Murray is here. MPJ is still here. Aaron Gordon. They got Russ. Brody is there, which is a big addition. Christian Braun and Peyton Watson off the bench. Their team is nice. They have a really solid team. And they're going to be contending again. Westbrook is going to be a big addition for them. I think on the court and off the court, I think he's going to be a really great leader for the Nuggets. And they're going to have a really good year, and they're going to slot in at the third position in the West. Coming in 4th, Kings. Sacramento, they got third 2 seasons ago, and then took a big step back last year and missed the playoffs. But 2 words for the Kings: DeMar DeRozan. He is going to be I think he's going to fit in very well in what Sacramento does. He's going to provide the mid-range. I think he's going to space out the court really well. He's going to help Fox and Sabonis and Keegan Murray. He can throw crazy assists. We saw that last year in Chicago. And I honestly think that offense runs better with DeMar than without him. I think that defense will be improved as well with him. So, yeah, I think the Kings, they're going to jump back into the playoffs this year and be in the 4th spot. And coming in 5, I got Minnesota. I got the Timberwolves. Ant is really good. They have Mike Conley, who is still a really good player. He helps them out a lot. You know, they just brought in Julius Randle. They still have DPOY, Rudy Gobert. DiVincenzo's now there. Jalen McDaniels is still there, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They have a nice team. I think they're going to drop back because I think Randle isn't really going to be the guy that they hoped for them. You know, but... Oh, I forgot to mention Naz Reid. How can I not mention him? But, yeah, I don't think Julius Randle's going to be the signing of the Timberwolves expect, and I just don't see him as a really good fit for Minnesota. I could be wrong, but we'll see. And coming in 6th, there's a couple teams I wanted to put here. I honestly wanted to put the Spurs there, drinking their Kool-Aid this year. Wanted to put the Pelicans there. But Memphis will return to the playoffs and be in the 6th seed. The Grizzlies, Ja, Jaren, Desmond, G.G. Jackson, even though he's hurt, they'll lead this team back to greatness with a force. I think they're going to return. They're going to show everyone that last year they were just hurt, injured to hell and back. And this year, with everybody healthy, besides Juju, I think they'll show everybody what everyone seemed to forget was a great team back 2 years ago. So now I got to give hot takes for every team. For the Mavs, I think Clay gets back to his former self. I think he starts to turn back the clock and looks like how he did with the Warriors not that long ago, pre-first injury in the finals when they were facing the Raptors. I think Clay turns back the clock. And then for the Thunder, we're going to go right for the jugular here. Even though I love Giannis, I got to do it. Shea's my MVP this year. I think this is the year Shea has been really good the past 2 seasons. It can only go up from here. And I think that up will be MVP. He'll be the new face of the league. And the Thunder just come for blood this year. They want all the smoke. Shea, MVP, 2024-25. For the Nuggets, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook will average double-digit assists for the Nuggets this year. And I think he starts getting some triple doubles. I think he'll start getting some triple doubles again. You know, him and Jokic on the same team, they're both triple double machines. And I think Russ playing with Jokic, that's going to help them really improve each other's stats, and they're both going to have a lot of triple doubles. Well, Jokic is going to have a lot, but I think Russ will add some on as well. So it'll go back and forth, I think. But more Jokic, of course. Sacramento. I honestly see Domantas Sabonis. I think Domantas Sabonis will be an MVP threat this year. I know his defense isn't great, but the offense is there. He can really pass the ball. He can get to the hoop. I think he can shoot threes. I don't really watch many Kings games, but yeah, I think he'll be better this year. As he was getting some MVP talks last year, I think he'll improve on that this year. Then the Timberwolves, I kind of touched on this already, but Julius Randle is not going to have a really good season. Hell, I even think Naz Reid might start most of the games at the power forward spot for the Timberwolves this year. So I could see Julius Randle playing with Dante DiVincenzo and both of them coming off the bench next year for most of the season. And then the Grizzlies, I think Jaren, outside of you-know-who, he'll be second in the league in blocks. He will average about 3.5 blocks a night. And he'll recapture a Defensive Player of the Year form that he had 2 seasons ago. But I think we all know who Defensive Player of the Year is going to this year because of how damn tall he is, and he's a generational talent. And we'll touch on him in a bit. Now we're going to go to the play-in teams for the West. I got the Pelicans in 7th. DeJounte, I think, is going to be a big addition for them. They still have B.I., they have C.J., they have Zion. They lost Valanciunas to the Wizards, so I don't know what's going on at center. But besides the center flaw, I think they have a decent team. You know, Trey Murphy as well, Herb Jones. They have a lot of guys. They might do small ball this year, who knows? But yeah, Pelicans have a decent team. They just need to figure out what's going on at center. My hot take for them is Zion plays the whole year. Just like LaMelo, Zion plays the whole season. And we see what he can do throughout the entire season. And same with B.I. Even though we've seen that from B.I., it's just we haven't seen it in a while, so. Yeah, Zion and B.I., they play the whole season. Coming in 8th, I have to do it. Give me the Spurs. Wemby's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. That's my hot take. Wemby's going to be awesome. He's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to average 5 blocks a night because he's an 8-foot giant, wingspan-wise. I still don't know how people can score on him besides Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie Irving's a freaking wizard. He'll score over anybody. Um, I mean, yeah, Wemby's insane. He's literally insane. Uh, CP3 is going to help out. I think CP3 to Wemby lobs are going to be awesome to watch for Spurs fans. Devin Vassell, I think, is going to be really good as well. And yeah, there's a lot to be excited about in San Antonio right now. We're going to follow that up with another Texas team. We got the Houston Rockets being in ninth. And they have a lot of depth. Şengün is their best player. Jalen Green is awesome. Or Jalen Green's good. He's okay. FW20. Well, he's not number 23 anymore, but you know what I mean. Fred VanVleet is nice. He's a good player. Dylan Brooks, Cam Whitmore, Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson. Depth, young core. I think the Rockets are another year away from being real good, but they're gonna have a nasty team in the future. I can tell from all the guys that they have now, and most of them are even young. Hell, I'm forgetting Tari Eason because he's hurt, or he was hurt last year. But my hot take on the Rockets is Alperen Şengün will make the All-Star team, and he'll have the highest assists in the league for a center. He's young. He's really young. He is flashy passing. Really good offensive player. He broke out last year. I think last year was his breakout year before he had that awful injury that ended his season, and that really killed the Rockets' playoff chances. So, yeah, I got the Rockets in ninth. I got Şengün being an awesome player, and him having more assists average than Jokic, Sabonis, and all the other great centers around the league that can pass. So number 10, and there's a few teams that I know that you guys are shocked that I haven't mentioned yet. But at number 10, it's really tough. It's really tough. But I'm going to put the Lakers over the Suns. I was really contemplating that decision, Lakers over the Suns. I'm going to put the Lakers in 10th. And they have a new coach in J.J. Redick. They still have LeBron. They still have Anthony Davis. Austin Reeves looked really good last year. D'Angelo Russell was going off at times last year for them. But, this is going to be a year of learning for them. Learning how to get under J.J. Redick's system. But they'll still make the plan. They have some depth as well. I think they're not gonna have a really good year because new coach. But I think they'll still make the plan. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I do think they'll make the plan. But my hot take for the Lakers is that Rui, he gets traded at the deadline. And I'm not trying to hate on Rui. I like Rui, but I don't know. I think he's going to underperform under the pressure of being a starter for the Lakers. I don't think he's going to have a really good season. And yeah, it yeah, it's going to be a whole year of learning for the Lakers. So now we got the bottom five. And I'm going to go through them in order: Suns, Clippers, Warriors, Jazz, and Portland. Um, the Suns, why they're down here, is they have a very top heavy team, contract money wise. Like KD's on a big contract, Bradley Beal's on a big contract, Devin Booker's on a big contract. You have Nurkic, who is good, and you have some other guys, but most of your your other players, besides your starters, are on league minimum contracts. This is a risky game that the Suns are playing. You know, they have the superstars. Devin Booker's gonna be awesome. KD, he's very old, but I don't think he's not gonna slow down yet. Probably is gonna get injured a bit though. Want to be a bit like once or twice. Um, but basically, the Suns are the NBA's version of Moneyball for all you baseball fans out there. And I don't think it's going to work this year for them. Kind of like the Rays, their Moneyball system. I don't think the Suns are going to make the playoffs or play in. I think that Moneyball experiment is going to blow up in their faces this year. And I think they're gonna start rebuilding. That's my honestly that take. My hot take for the Suns is they're gonna start rebuilding at the trade deadline again. And honestly, seeing big pieces being shipped off. Then I got the Clippers, and losing Paul George and losing Russ is gonna suck. They have James Harden. They still have Kawhi, but that's their main stars. They have most of their team from last year. They got some pieces, but I don't know. The Clippers, they don't scream anything to me. They don't really scream contender. They don't really scream top 10 team in the West. I think they got worse than what they were. I think they're going to have a big fall off. But James Harden, I think he'll pass the rock. He'll have double-digit assists on the year, and I think he'll shoot over 40% from three. So I think James Harden has a nice turnaround season. But this ain't it for the Clippers this year, Chief. Nope. Golden State, they lost Clay, and Draymond's on the downtick in performance. Steph, I think, is still going to be awesome. They're going to have Pont, they're going to have Kuminga, they're going to have Trace Jackson as the young guys, but with the big three broken up and Clay going to Dallas, I just think, for my hot take for them is the whole vibe of that team, it's going to be off. Like, they're not going to be playing the same. I think it's just going to be really down here for Golden State. I think I forgot to do hot takes for the bottom five teams on the Eastern side, so I'll do that now. I know I did LaMelo will play the full season for the Hornets. I did Duran leading the league in rebounds. Wizards, Jordan Poole will not finish the season on the Wizards. He's going to be that bad. And I said that, yeah, so the only one I didn't do was the Wizards. Then we're going to go to Utah, and besides from Laurie, Keontae George, who will establish himself as one of the premier guards in the Western Conference. I think Keontae has a nice sophomore season. That's my hot take for you guys. But besides from Laurie, Keontae, Jordan Clarkson, and there's someone else. I'm forgetting who it is. I had him. I had his name. I had his face. No, he's gone. Oh well. He'll come back, I think. Probably not. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna really have a good year. Utah will. John Collins, I think he he's gonna have a really bad season. Walker Kessler, he's gonna have an even worse year than he did last year. And he's just not. I don't think he's gonna refine his rookie year form. So yeah, I'm really down on the Utah Jazz this year. I think they'll have Keontae and Lauri Markkanen have nice seasons. The same with Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, but I don't think the Jazz are gonna be that good this year. And then Portland, um, they have Shaden Sharp, they have Jeremy Grant, they have Anthony Simons. They traded for Denny Avdija, which I think was a really good trade for them. They have Dominating, and they have young guys. They have solid young guys. I just think that this year it's gonna be more of the same from last year. They're gonna be pretty bad, but I honestly think that Denny Avdija will finish the season as Portland's best player because he was a really good player for the Wizards last year. And I honestly think with the Wizards, just trade away one of their best players, if not their best player, to Portland. And I think he's going to turn into the franchise guy for the Blazers. And he's going to be the guy that leads them into their winning period whenever that happens again, post Dame. So, yeah, now I got to go into my plan, predictions, and then we got the awards, which most of them you guys know already. So, plan, Pelicans and Spurs, and Rockets and Lakers. I got the Pelicans beating the Spurs. Pelicans will be the 7th seed. And then the Lakers will beat the Rockets, and it'll be a Spurs-Lakers matchup. LeBron versus Wemby. TNT is that's gonna be a really good game. TNT is gonna be there. It's gonna be hyped up, and it'll deliver. It'll go into overtime. But I think San Antonio pulls it down. I think Wemby will get his first playoff experience this year. So, yeah, got the Spurs being the 8th seed. How about that? So now we're going to go into my awards, and then we'll be done for the night. I can go to bed, as it's about 2:30 in the morning. MVP, I picked Shea. You guys know that. DPOY, Wemby. Most improved player, Kobe White. Kobe White. Give me Kobe White. Rookie of the Year is Zachary Richasher. Clutch Player of the Year. Not many people are going to like this one. Dame Time. Give me Dame Time this year. Dame Time will be back. There'll be more Dame Time moments in MKE this year, besides that one against the Kings. Dame Time Clutch Player of the Year. So we got Shea MVP, Wemby DPOY, Dame Time Clutch Player of the Year, Kobe White Most Improved Player. And then last award is Sixth Man of the Year. How's Malik Monk not won one yet? He's gonna get it. How has Malik Monk? I've seen Malik Monk drop 40-point games multiple times. How has this man not won Sixth Man of the Year award yet? He's been so good for Sacramento. Like, he has been so good. I'm surprised they haven't been starting him at all in any games. He's been that good. So, yeah, Malik Monk. If he doesn't win Sixth Man of the Year this year, I don't know what I'll say. Or what I'll do. That'll be shocking. But yeah, Malik Monk is winning Sixth Man of the Year. If he doesn't, then he's getting robbed. I'm sorry, but he's got to win Sixth Man of the Year. It's his time this year. And you know what? Why not? I will throw out Coach of the Year this year. And honestly, I think it's gonna go to good old Greg Popovich. He's gonna get it over Rick Carlisle. I think Greg Popovich, if my predictions are right and the Spurs do make the playoffs after how bad they were last year and the past couple of years, I think good old Pop will get one more Coach of the Year award before he calls it quits. So, yeah, that's all for my 2024-2025 NBA season predictions. I hope you all enjoyed and have a good Sunday, because this is being filmed on Sunday morning. So yeah, have a good night. RV out. Peace. See y'all soon for basketball season.